34. It's been quite some time since I did my last video. Today, I wanted to talk about the new exotic LMG, the Iron Lung. There's a lot of different build videos already out there, and you may have already come across some similar information. I'm just going to give you my take on it. With it being an LMG, it really just makes sense to run the gunner. A lot of good stuff in here, especially this reload thing, armor kill. Armor kit's not too bad. Generating ammo, rate of fire on kills, weapon handling. It's a big thing we're going to talk about, and just making sure you get the extra damage on it. Now, this weapon.
Inventory.
At first look, doesn't look too terrible. Base damage is okay. RPMs are pretty decent, but the mag size sort of low. Took me a little bit to get the right rolls on it. And normally the reload time without this kind of setup is somewhere around 5 seconds, which is pretty insane. And the talent, it's pretty cool. And pretty much after you have fired for a while, it'll start setting shit on fire, and it's really good. I'm kind of using this as like sort of a crowd control team buff kind of thing, because it'll just set things on fire, and when you do that, NPCs usually don't tend to do anything except sit there and scream, and it can kind of buy you some time to reload, which maybe that's the whole point of it. I'm not entirely sure, but the mods on it aren't too terrible. I've tried doing like an all red, just pretty standard DPS build with this, but the reload speed's what's going to kill you on this. So to fix that, I went with a named vest that you can craft that has perfect brace on it. 50% weapon handle as long as you're in cover. Now this one, I put all red stats on it. Paired it with just a normal Petrov for some more weapon handling. Went with vigilance. And then we're using ongoing directive. I will tell you, this is a lot of fun. This build works extremely well in a group, and I have not really had too much trouble killing things with it. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer. You're not going to hit extremely hard. I could show you in the shooting range a little bit about how it works, but the reason I picked this set is to basically just counteract the reload speed. The status effects help with the fire, gives you hollow point ammo for you and your team's amplified damage, and the reload speed thing is pretty nice. So basically, you'll never, pretty much, like, as long as you're killing shit, tagging things, you'll never run out of ammo. You won't have to hit ammo boxes. You'll be regenerating stuff for your team too because of the gunner. And then I picked my weapons for a reason and some of the skills. So the way I set it up, kind of cut and dry, just weapon damage, status effects. I'm out of crit damage, just because like the stats are pretty low on the crit side, and even on the crit damage. But eventually, just because of how much you're going to be firing, you will crit. And just, a little extra damage. So I'm not worried about the chest pieces and the backpacks for these. And I didn't choose contractor's gloves because I wanted to go with these instead of using like the backpack that just does increased bleed damage. I wasn't so focused on like bleed damage, just kind of the status effects from the fire. The bleed's nice. And then weapon handling, Banshee Pulse, just to, with the status effects, just kind of makes sense. It'll buy you extra time that you need if you get caught in a bad spot. You can hit multiple enemies at once. And a Reviver Hive, just in case you haven't quite got the hang of how to run it. Now, in a status build, it kind of makes sense to run a weapon sort of like the Grunge. Doesn't have to be this, but Perfect Magnetic for that bonus. You know, with those bonuses, because my stats are low, it's not going to put it over cap or anything. And then I've always just kind of gotten used to the TDI card, and I like using finisher. If you can, you know, get the buffs working, like proc this, proc that, use this, it gives it a pretty decent damage buff. Grenades aren't extremely important, but you could, you know, use your riot foam grenades. It's just more status stuff. Now, just to kind of show you how it works a little. You know, my world is on challenging, but I keep this on heroic. And then try out on named. And we put it about 5 meters. Oh, you can see I already have like the special ammo shit from the ongoing directive. But you can see it took down a named enemy on heroic. Not too bad. And gonna see if that dragon thing builds up. We'll set things on fire. So, and you can see the reload is workable. Damage isn't too bad. Gives pretty good buffs. But what you really shine is like if you're running missions and you know the choke points or the spawn points. This is how it can work. So you're building up your stats. Set things on fire. And you just kind of like, you know, while they're on fire, they're spinning, and just kind of instant PvP. So you can see it's kind of a crowd control weapon. I mean, I don't think it's meant to really do like pure damage. But that's just some of the things that I've come to use with this. I tried a couple different things, like for the backpack talents, there's not a lot of really good choices. I mean, you could do Wicked. You know, Wicked will pretty much always be up once you get towards the end of the clip. It's not going to be as much as Vigilance. You know, it's only 18%. You know, and then if you get hit, you know, you lose it. But I'm kind of going with the fact that I'm being cover a lot, just so I can get the benefit of braced. Because without that weapon handling, this gun is pretty difficult to use. And the reload speed is going to be a killer. You know, you could think, why not use things like glass cannon or something? And that's pretty much the only reason I wouldn't. It's just because that reload speed is going to be a killer. And the way these ads can be pretty aggressive or flank you, if you don't kill them in a clip, they're going to run up on you and you'll be dead by the time you reload. So that's my little take on Iron Lung. You know, the ongoing directive build. I mean, some people talked about the Ninja Bike pads and the knee pads. That could be a good way to maybe get around it. Be doing a lot of cover-to-cover stuff. But you know, there's a lot of stuff when it goes into builds and the new stuff that comes out. Everyone's always trying to figure out how to get it to work the best or what they can do about it. And like I said, this is just my take on it. So I hope you found this kind of interesting. And if you did, you know, leave a like, subscribe, or if you didn't, hey, comment, tell me what's up. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say I know everything about this game, but I do enjoy making these videos every now and then.
Inventory.
And just kind of sharing, you know, some of my insights, and you know, I like trying to figure out how to make things work, you know, work better. You know, I have played this through a few times in like Heroic. We did all the invaded missions up to Tidal Basin, and it seemed to do pretty good. Only problem, you come into play is like when you do the black tusk, there's a lot of robots. So bleed and fire, can't put on robotics. But pretty much everything else you can. And thought it did pretty good. So hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, you guys take care.